Hello, welcome to my Soul Tribe Tarot. We're going to just kind of get a general energy message. So keep in mind, these are collective. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to a reading, to an outcome. Remember, you're conscious creator and your timeline shifts and changes with your free will choice. So if there's going to be an extended, which I'll let you know at the end of this video, it will be available, my extended videos only Patreon membership. That is linked in the description box. Let's get into this. So this is an interesting dynamic. We start out with the Seven of Pentacles, okay? So most likely you who are here are feminine energy and you're looking at the situation. You're looking at what you've put into it. Has the energy and the time, the effort, the love that you've put into this situation brought you what you desire, okay? I see that you're very clearly in communication with a masculine energy who could be a fire sign, doesn't have to be, but we have a King of Wands energy here. Okay. And there's also kind of connection in spirit. It feels like there could be telepathic communication, energy connection with the two of you, you know, with the Eight of Wands, there could be a distance. Okay. But you're open to communicate. Like that's clear. There's passion also energy, you know, with the two of you here. So things feel quite free flowing, but like what's under the surface? Because what's under the surface is you're in the Four of Pentacles. So you're not sure about this. You're feeling kind of insecure. You might feel like weighed down by this connection. And on the masculine energy, we have the Three of Cups. So it could be, you know, they're kind of in an energy of celebration, of like a partying energy. It's more lighthearted. It's not as serious. So they have the cups. They have the feelings, right? But what's kind of in the middle of like what's under the surface with the two here is we have the King of Swords. So very logical, practical decision needs to be made, or a conversation needs to be had that is more logical than emotional. Now you have the Pentacles energy, which is really interesting because you're looking physically at what has transpired within this dynamic, right? I don't think that you're happy with it. You know, the Seven of Pentacles is about revision. It does take patience, right? But you're like, is this enough? Is this really what I want? Am I happy? You know, you might feel happy when you're spending time with this person, but when you're away from this person, are you still happy about this connection? That's a good question to ask here. And, you know, I feel like even when this person is like out with others, you know, they're thinking about the Cups energy. So the emotions. So they're in their emotions right now. Okay. And if they're out with others, they're thinking about you. So the end of the spread, we have the Death card, meaning something needs to change. Something has to give here. Okay. Let's dive a little deeper and see what else is here. What else do we want to know? What is this conversation that needs to be had? We'll start with that, with the King of Swords. We have the Empress energy. Is this fulfilling? Are you being honored? Are you receiving the love and respect that you deserve? Is it your free will choice that you're involved with this person? Okay, there are these sorts of questions coming through. Now, the Empress in this card, she's not pregnant, you know, but she's definitely sitting on her throne here. And it may be that you felt like you were putting more into this connection than this person. And you kind of need to talk about that, right? Also talk about what you want to bring to fruition in this connection. And then again, like the Empress is very much kind of a physical energy, looking at the physical. You're like, okay, well, I feel this way, or like we're having this open dialogue, we're having this communication, but I've invested a lot of time and energy in this, and am I happy? Is this fulfilling? You know, is my my vision of this connection or this dynamic, like, is it coming to fruition? Do I feel like I can be in my Empress energy with this masculine? Can I relax into my Empress energy? Do I have that softness around this masculine? Can I trust, or am I in my masculine energy? So for me personally, like when I'm around a masculine that I don't trust, I will be in masculine energy. I will be in like the King of Swords energy. I'll be logical. I'll be cold. I will be, get right to the point, right? And that's kind of what's coming through here. Interesting. Let's clarify the Death card. What needs to transform or change? We have the Knight of Cups. Emotions need to be expressed with the Knight of Cups energy. I'm hearing, is this a fantasy or is this reality? I think your person is almost more in this, or this masculine is almost more in like a fantasy energy where you're more looking at the practical end of things and you're looking more at the reality of it and your reality. But are you expressing your reality to your person about how unhappy you are, how insecure you feel in this right now? Let's see. Some of you too need to kind of connect in with your feelings and how we have the Hangman energy, how you're feeling about this, right? You might have been on autopilot in this, or you might have been kind of like focused on other things, but this is affecting you. To me, also, the Pentacles can represent like your energy levels, and whether or not something's draining you or if it's like recharging you or energizing you. So yeah, we'll take some time to kind of go in and reflect. I feel that's from the feminine energy. And temperance, patience, balance, alchemy, healing. This might also be bringing something up within you for you to heal. That's, some sort of insecurity. Or for you to have some patience with yourself and kind of what you're moving through. There's a gentleness and a compassion with the temperance energy. But either way, there's something that, is requiring healing before there can be a grounded foundation here with the Four of Wands. Some of you might not have fully expressed what you want, and this person doesn't know, and they're guessing. If it's somebody who's non-committal, then it's somebody's non-committal. That could be the situation as well, but I feel like your perspective on this relationship is changing. But have like this softness and this compassion and patience with yourself. Let's see where this masculine energy's at. It's interesting. We have the Justice card. Okay, so actually a bit more serious than you think with the Justice card. The Ten of Cups. So very much in their feelings. So what's the problem here? What's the problem? Have the confidence to speak up about what you want. I think you both need that. I think you both need to have the confidence to speak up about what you want. Because we have the Queen of Wands here. So what is it that you want? You want this to move forward. The Chariot, you want this to move forward. And your person's thinking on it, or this person is thinking on a serious level with, the Justice card and the Ten of Cups. I mean, that's wanting to do things the right way. That's seeing you as like their wish fulfillment, right? But they're in their feelings. They're not taking action. But they might not know what you want. Tell me more about this, Ten of Wands. It could also be this masculine hasn't expressed to you what he wants. And that's been a burden on him with the Ten of Wands. Holding all that back, all that passion, all... Fear of rejection. It comes down to the fear of rejection always. Four of Cups. Interesting. The Justice, the Ten of Cups. Let's clarify that Ten of Wands. The Nine of Pentacles. They don't know if you want to be together or if you want to be single. They might be at that crossroads to themselves. So what would be the solution to this? Have the Devil energy. The Knight of Swords. The Six of Swords. Speaking up for what you want, how you want things to move forward, what you envision. Facing those fears, obviously there's a fear of rejection here. This is a side note, doesn't have to be everybody's situation, but we did have the Three of Cups. The side note here could be, if someone was non-committal, okay, and they're in between two energies, or they're just kind of like dating around, and like you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings, you might actually be the one who's been holding everyone back from finding the person that they truly desire to be with, because you were playing games or too afraid to make a choice or to, express what you truly wanted. Because with this Devil energy, these two women are cutting the chains, okay, that are connected to this monster here. So in expressing your truth, like if you're the person where like you have multiple options and you're dating multiple people and you're afraid to hurt someone's feelings, I think you're actually freeing everybody if you do that and you just are true to yourself and authentic and go after the cup or the offer that you truly desire, because I think you know what that is, right? But there is a fear. This masculine has this fear that the feminine maybe would prefer to be single with the Nine of Cups or the Nine of Pentacles. But I think with this feminine energy, you want this to move forward into a foundation, or you want to open up the next doorway in this connection. The Fool, new beginning. Ace of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here, just overall, I don't think we need to do an extended. And again, just take what aligns, release what doesn't. Obviously, masculine energy, very much in Ten of Cups energy. Lots of fantasy and desire, okay, wish fulfillment with the feminine. Around other people, but not really interested in other people. Afraid to take action on and choose the person that, the cup or the offer that he desires, or to offer that cup. Because there's fear of rejection, there's fear of the feminine just wanting to remain in single energy. So if this sounds like your timeline, whether you're the masculine or feminine, if you're the feminine, speak about what you want, truly, like boldly speak about what you desire in this connection with this person in your life, the lifestyle that you want to live, all of that, right? And if you are the masculine and you haven't made a choice, be bold and make the choice that is your Ten of Cups, right? Be honest and true, because when you're honest and true, even with if you're around other people or whatever is going on here, you're going to free up the energies, because you were kind of just holding everybody back, waiting for you to make some sort of decision, right? And it became toxic. I don't think it started toxic, but it ended up being a burden on you, and it became toxic for the other individuals. So that's kind of what's coming through here. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. There could be a very clear new beginning with the Fool and the Ace of Pentacles. But it's like you've both been holding back from expressing your truth and what you truly desire. And it's time to speak up about that, because even if you don't share the same vision, right, or you don't choose each other, at least you're not holding each other back, right? Now, of course, that means you got to know what you want. So take the time to know what you want before you have this conversation, but then have this conversation, stand in your truth, because then things can move forward, right? And for these other people that were involved, possibly, if this was a third party situation or just like wasn't a grounded connection, it allows them, it's a release of a burden for them, and they can choose, the path that they want, right? It's like, no, everyone's afraid to speak their truth. Everyone's afraid to like step on toes or make a decision, but actually it's time. It feels like it's time. So you'll know if this aligns, receive what aligns with, release what doesn't. Thank you so much. Take the best care of yourself, and I will see you soon.